Hi everyone, my name is Juan Duran and today I'll be presenting on the multi-state outbreak of salmonella infections linked to pistachio nuts, which is a public health issue. Step 1 would be the background information. Now, salmonella is an infection that is usually caused by contaminated water or food, and in this case I will be talking about pistachio contaminated products. This infection causes 1.2 million illnesses a year and over 450 deaths a year. People who contract salmonella will usually experience cramps, diarrhea, and a fever. Pistachios are vulnerable to being exposed to bacteria like salmonella because they are a dry, shelved item, and salmonella can survive for as long as 6 months in an environment like this. Step 2 would be the current situation. Now, 9 years ago in 2009, there was a recall of over 1 million pounds of pistachios by the California Department of Public Health, who investigated a salmonella contamination with pistachio products. 7 years later, in 2016, the FDA and CDC investigated a multi-state outbreak of salmonella infections linked to pistachio nuts produced by Wonderful Pistachios, who are based in California. In 2016 of March, the Wonderful Pistachio Company had to voluntarily recall all of its pistachios due to the outbreak. Step 3. Prioritize core issues. Some issues surrounding this outbreak would include the health of those who have already been infected and those who are at risk of becoming infected. People who own the pistachio products could still own them and have them at their own disposal, so they could still get sick if they ate the pistachios. This is a big public health issue. Step 4 would be alternatives. Some solutions to a salmonella outbreak that involve pistachios could include further inspection done to their products by companies and a warning label that should be placed on all pistachio products. I believe that Wonderful Pistachios could avoid a large recall if they did further inspections on their own products and made sure that it'd be safe for them to eat. Step 5 includes some recommendations. Pistachio factory owners and owners of the product should regulate food safety laws and prevent further contaminations by intensifying the process of making pistachios. I believe that in order to do this, they should clean their machines daily, and they should have their workers sanitize these machines daily. The workers should also focus on being clean themselves if they ever handle the food or the products. Step 6 would be the action plan. To ensure that there are no more contaminated pistachios would take over 3 months. And step 2, assist those whose health has been affected by being infected with salmonella, 2 weeks. When someone is infected with salmonella, it does not take long for them to recover. Usually they recover on their own, and this process would not take too long, so I put 2 weeks. 3. Sanitize the working environment in which pistachios are made. In the previous slide, I mentioned this, but I believe that in order to make laws that ensure that this will happen, it will take over a month. 4. Research the possibilities of how salmonella comes into contact with processed and packaged food. I believe that if scientists and researchers work together to further investigate how salmonella comes into contact with this food, then there will be further preventative measures to not let this happen again. 5. Advertise the dangers of bacteria in food. I believe that in order for people to get the message that food can be contaminated by salmonella and other bacteria, it would take over a year. Not only in the US, but all over around the world, it would take a lot of advertising for the word to be spread out and for people to actually listen. So I believe that a year would be minimum, but there should be a lifetime or advertising against the dangers of bacteria in food. Lastly, my own personal opinion. I believe owners of companies like Wonderful Pistachios should emphasize more of their capital or money on preventing future events like salmonella outbreaks. The process of recalling millions of pounds of food will only hurt the business and will hurt the public who viably rely on their snacks for everyday pleasure. Also, there should be a prioritization on educating the public of public health crises that may affect their everyday meals. People should not feel endangered when eating their favorite meals. They should feel safe. And that is all for today. Thank you.